You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that's a quote I've been thinking about a lot lately. Well, not people who I've known in my life, friends, family, whatnot. And as someone with a mindset wants to become the best version of themselves in every single area, and I don't mean just some areas, I mean every single area. I want to be absolutely dominant. I want victory everywhere. I want that same thing for the people in my life. I want them to share some of the same mentality. That's the mentality I look for when I look for friends, people who I respect. When I see people who have that kind of mentality, that's what I respect. And when I see people who don't have it, I try to instill it in them, not forcefully, but I point them in a direction where I'd like to. I never want to be imposing. I like to say things once. If I see some way that I think I can help somebody, I always try to do it. I think this is what being a kind person is all about. If you have information that can help somebody and you don't tell them, honestly, wouldn't that just make you a bad person? So I think that when you have to deal with people who you know want to be great, when you want to be great and you deal with people who you see they could be great, you see they have some semblance about them. And honestly, everyone can be great, but people, they just don't have the ambition. And when you have it and you don't, and you see other people that don't have it, like especially some of your friends, man, especially when you're younger and you meet some of the friends, you know, like you're just starting out in life and, you know, these guys are maybe, it could be guys, it could be girls, it could be whoever, and they're just a bit lazy. They don't really care. They don't really want any kind of a success in their life. They don't really have any ambition. You know, you see them, you don't see them in the gym. You know, you don't see them working out. You don't see them taking care of the diet. You don't see them spending their time productively. You don't see them trying to learn anything. You don't see them trying to make money. You don't see them taking care of their studies. You don't see them applying themselves in the areas that matter to them. And when you know that it's really not as complicated as you think, life is very simple, it's very annoying because you want to be great and you want the people around you to share the same sentiment so you guys could boost each other up and help. You know, in the Bible, it always says where two is stronger than one, because if one falls, the other one can lift the other one up. And before we keep going here, I'd like to tell you guys to just like and subscribe. You know, I love the videos. I love making them. I've got a very interesting video coming out soon that isn't like the usual style I've been making. This one is really random, off the cuff. It's going to be short, quick, snappy. You know what I mean? Like a whip. And that's the thing, you know, this is kind of like a little bit of an inner monologue and inner operation. That's what every single video is. And the thing is that it's very annoying. And how can we deal with the people who we know we want to be successful? How can we deal with people who don't want to be successful when we want it and that's all we want? And that's something really difficult. Honestly, here's the fact. Like I said at the start of the video, and this quote is so hard hitting and hits really home for me. Because especially when you know people who you think could be great, you know what makes it worse is when people complain about something they don't have and they want to get something and they have all the tools to get it. And then they keep complaining and they keep not applying themselves. And I think you have to make that choice. You want that thing, go and get it. But if you've made the decision mentally that you're never really going to try, you're just going to keep half-assing it, and don't bother, just give up and accept you're not going to have that thing, whatever it is that you really want. Like, if you're not going to go all in, if you're not going to really care, just stop wasting your time, stop wasting your mental energy, and just honestly give up. And I don't like to tell anyone to give up, because I think no matter what anyone is, no matter where you are in your life, even if you're in the worst spot ever, you should never give up. You should keep fighting. But I think we all know about the kind of genre of person I'm talking about. The person who's like, bro, I want to get rich, or bro, I want to get jacked, or bro, I want to get smarter. And then you're like, all right, bro. All right. For the guy who's like not in shape, all right, bro, here's a gym membership, or here's some weights. Like, imagine a scenario like, yep, you have like a home gym. Like, it's so accessible, so convenient. Or here's a gym membership, not that expensive. You make enough money to be able to cover this, no problem. Here you go. And you have the time in your day to do it, no problem. Here you go. And then you give people the tools. Or you want to be smarter? Okay, here's some books. Here's some books about getting smarter in the ways that you've told me that you want to become smarter. Philosophy, business, finance, money management, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Or the studies. It's like, you know, you've got access to whatever study materials you need. You have the entire internet. You want to learn something? You got the internet. Boom. And you give all these things to people, and then they keep complaining. I can't do this. And then people, especially it's worse when these people make excuses, you know, and especially, you know, you give them the nuggets, you give them the mental stimulation, you give them the motivation, you give them the confidence. You want to build them up. You never want to break them down, because people like that are very soft. You never want to try to break them down. You want to try to uplift them, be positive, because if they see your positivity and they see that you have the belief in them when maybe it's even undeserved, maybe they're going to take some of that belief and channel it. And that's really awesome to me. So like, and I've seen that in my own life multiple times, especially when I was in high school. I literally am friends with nobody who I was friends with in high school anymore, just because they didn't have the same mentality, they didn't have the same work ethic or ambition. They wanted to sit around, play games, roll, you know what I mean? It's like all these negative things that have no good ROI. They just wanted to hang out and have fun. Hanging out and having fun is not a problem in itself, but when you never want to do anything fun, anything challenging, anything that's going to grow you, build you as men, you know? As a man, you need to do things that build you, that build character. You need that dad lore. You need experiences that are memorable. You need something that gives you a close shave. You need something that makes you nervous, something scary. Because if it's a hard challenge and you persevere and you overcome it, that's the kind of stuff that gives you confidence that money just can't buy. You know what I mean? And that's fantastic. So back to the point at hand, which is people who want to be successful, but will never be able to put in that work, but never want to put in that work. And as you, as a smart individual who knows what to do and is trying to make the best version of your own life, obviously you shouldn't spend too much time gravitating towards other people and what they're doing. You shouldn't have too much time to focus on other people and criticize what they're doing. But you know, you look around the people around you, you kind of see what they're doing. You know, you notice a little bit. It's obviously not everything you care care about and everything you notice, but you got to glance over a little bit. You know what I mean? So, sometimes you kind of look at them and you analyze the time passes, months go by, years pass, and you analyze if they're actually making any progress into life in any areas. And when you realize that they're not, I feel like it's very upsetting as someone who has work ethic, has intelligence, has confidence, and has the things that it takes to be successful, because it's very possible to achieve everything you want in this life. And when you see people making countless excuses and honestly looking like they're giving up or have accepted that they'll never have this thing, but still faking ambition and faking almost an effort, they're faking almost that they think they're ever going to have this thing. And honestly, they can have anything they want in this life, like I explained. But with their current mentality and their current work ethic, they're never going to get it. And they never realize this. They stay the same, they never change, and they're always wondering, why can I get it? Why me? Why did this happen to me? They make excuses, they're lazy, and whenever you try to tell them something, obviously positively, you uplift them, you boost them up, or you give them the hard-hitting truth. Sometimes you got to get real with them. You got to tell them what the situation is. You got to tell them, you got to make them accountable for their actions, for the laziness. Sometimes you got to get real. You got to have the uncomfortable conversations. You got to hit home. And that has to make the person realize maybe that, wow, I've got so much I've been doing wrong here. Let me put on the bootstraps. I've been failing. I've been doing a lot of stuff wrong. I could have succeeded in whatever that thing I was trying to do by now. But you know what? It doesn't matter about all of that. We can forget the past and now we can start working. Let's go. But that epiphany rarely comes to these people. You tell them the truth. You tell them the facts. You tell them, oh, you want to do this? Here's how. You walk the horse to water, and no matter what happens, they just never drink. And as a smart person who wants to be successful, and you see other people in your life who want to achieve some kind of success in other areas, they just won't work. They'll just do anything. The excuses, the laziness. That's very painful to see that as someone who wants to be successful and honestly has a good head on their shoulders. Kind of realize, like, what's the situation? You got to use your intelligence to analyze situations and make all the possible moves on the chessboard of success of the game of life. You're in this situation, you've got this many pieces. What move can we make? You tell them the right move to make, and they go, nah, I don't have time, or whatever. You know what it can be? It could be a million other things. Oh, I can't do it, whatever. So I feel like that's something us people, especially some of the inner operators around here who actually consistently watch this content, because this is some high octane, high intelligence content for the boys. This is not the mentally stimulating, high flashy editing content. This is raw, real, factual, intellectual, self-improvement focused, depending on the topic we're talking about. And today's video was just kind of understanding the whole, if you lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. But I translated it to our own lives and with the people we meet every day. This one was a spur of the moment thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, like and subscribe. More videos coming out soon. I love some feedback in the comments below. Well, this has been Inner Ops, where the inner desire for success, that's the outward operations to achieve it. Good luck, guys.